Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Kevin K3KTB and this is the very first YouTube video that I'm creating. With my channel, I'd like to take you through my trials and tribulations of ham radio, things I've learned, things I don't know, things I want to learn, and give you a background on my experience with radio and what drew me to becoming a ham radio operator. My first experience with radio that really made an impression on me was with my great-grandmother. She had an old console radio, tube radio, and when I visited her, we would always listen to the radio. We would listen to local news programming. Paul Harvey, if any of you remember him. It was just magical for me. She didn't have a television, so that was the entertainment that we had there. And I grew to love that. I've always loved radio ever since then. Then in the 70s, CB radio was really big then, as well as the introduction of police scanners. That was back when these scanners had crystals, and you had to buy the crystal for the channel that you wanted to receive, whether it was fire, police, any other emergency service. So it was great being able to have that in the house. Then I got introduced to CB. One of the best Christmas gifts that I ever received was a pair of Radio Shack walkie-talkies with CB channels in it, and again that had the crystals that you had to insert. They had three crystals, so you could select from three different CB channels. The one that it came with was channel 14, and that was kind of the official walkie-talkie channel. So I had CB. Kind of grew out of that, kind of went away, got busy with life in my 20s and 30s, and it was always there in the back of my mind, you know, that I've always loved listening to radio. I got into listening to shortwave radio, got a shortwave radio receiver, and I absolutely loved that. With these, back then, you had many shortwave stations out there that are no longer there. A lot of these stations, you could send a report to them, what time you you heard the broadcast, their signal, your location, and they would send you back a card or another item. I remember one station in particular, they sent me a little pennant flag. I don't know where that went. I wish I had it. It was just, it was such a great thing. I also listen to the local AM radio stations, the talk radio. I'd rather listen to radio almost rather than watch television program. So I've always had that love of radio. Then about 3 years ago, 4 years ago, I watched a YouTube video from a guy named Josh, K-I-6-N-A-Z, I believe is his call. And he introduced me to the Baofeng radios, the ubiquitous Baofeng. If it wasn't for that video and him showing me the Baofeng and seeing how inexpensive it was, I probably never would have gone to get my license. I knew quite a while back that the code requirement had gone away, so that made it easier. I always thought the licensing would be a little above my head, that I wouldn't have the knowledge to be able to get that. And I started looking into it, and Josh explained in his videos just what it was, the technician license. And I always thought ham radio was the HF and DXing. I really didn't know about the 2 meter 70 centimeter ham radio with the repeaters and simplex and all things like that, and so that was all new to me. So took my test and passed it. very first time, and I was just overwhelmed. I was a ham radio operator, so had a little Baofeng, got a roll-up J-pole antenna, and strung that up in the room I was in, and was able to get on the local repeaters. That was just a great thing. I really wanted to do the DX work, so I was really motivated and went ahead. 90 days later, I tested for uh, the general license, and I received that, and that was one of the greatest days of my life. Um, Almost the greatest day of my life. Don't tell my wife that. Of course, the greatest day of my life was when we got married, of course, but it opened a whole new world for me. I was very fortunate after I got my general license, right after I got my general license, to get the radio right behind me there, the IC 7300. At that time, it was in the middle of the winter. All I could do was put some dipoles up in the attic, and that worked out great. When I put them outside in the spring, I couldn't believe it. It was like a blanket was pulled off of my radio, and all kinds of signals opened up to me. I just absolutely love it. I've contacted so many different countries, almost every continent of the globe. Uh, there's a few places around the globe that I haven't yet reached. I My true love is DX though. I love DX. Talking to people all over the world, it is just fascinating to me. It's amazing how that little signal, no matter what you're putting out, barefoot or even 1500 watts full legal, it's amazing that somebody halfway across the globe can receive that signal, and by the time it gets to them, that's a very weak signal that they receive, and they can get that and respond to you. One of my biggest faults, though, with ham radio is equipment buying. I, I kind of went over the top there. Bought a lot of things that they use once, and nah, I'm good with that. And pick and choose your equipment wisely. I started with a off-center fed dipole. This was at our old house, so we moved about a year and a half ago, and that kind of upset everything because I couldn't put the dipoles up that I wanted. So I thought, well, one of the best things for me to get would be a vertical antenna. So I went and got the DX Commander. Fantastic antenna, and I had an old car, and I sold the car so I could fund an antenna. With that purchase, I bought a hex beam antenna. And when people say that your antenna is the most important part of your shack, it truly is. The antenna and the feed line, those are extremely important. They make all the difference in the world. When I was researching the hex beam antenna, I saw a lot of things where people said that a hex beam was like getting an amplifier, and it absolutely was. It's just amazing what a beam antenna can do for you, even a hex beam. So it's been incredible. Had my ups and downs here, especially moving to the new house. That really kind of throws things off. The antennas that you had that worked very well no longer fit in the same location. You can't get them the same height. You can't get them in the same direction. Terrain and their surrounding area is different. So that was been quite a learning experience for me. So with that, I'm going to end this video. I plan to create another several more videos in a very near future, and hopefully I'll get some good comments, even bad comments on this video. I will greatly appreciate. My goal is to help those brand new hams learn from my experiences, and I'd like to learn from you very experienced hams. I have a lot to learn still. I recently got an amplifier, and it's a lot of trial and error. Haven't burned it up or caught it on fire yet, so I think I'm okay, but I have a lot to learn there, and there's always something to learn with ham radio. Thank you for watching, and hopefully you'll tune in for the next video. Thank you.